And I know many of you, or all of you, probably are thinking, hey, what the fuck is a diatribe? We have arrived at the Laacher See. Finally, it is right now 6 o'clock. Today we have arrived in the Volcanic Eifel, which is a region of the Eifel Mountains here in the western Germany. We sort of missed this place a couple of weeks ago when we went to the Ruhr Eifel, which was also incredibly beautiful. And originally we thought that the volcanic crater lakes, or actually they called Maars, are located over there, but they are not. They're located about 100-150 kilometers from there, so right in this volcanic geopark of the Eifel. And I remember back then I kind of swore to myself that we would come back to this place, and that's why we are here today. We have no clue what this place over here is, but it's with the fence. There's a bunch of rocks over here on this side of the fence, so maybe coming from right over there, but it's all in German and wij sprechen keine Deutsch. So talking about the Eifel Park here in Germany, yes, there are volcanoes in Europe too, and they are, well, sort of kind of active, because there is a team of researchers or scientists, what you call them, and they are measuring the rising carbon dioxide from the Mars and of course the surrounding bogs in this area to be up to date about the seismic activity. And of course the rising carbon dioxide from these places is a huge indication that these volcanoes are in fact active. And a recent study also shows that the last eruption that happened here was in between 8,000 and 9,000 BC, so about 11,000 years ago. And one of the most recent ones happened also at Laacher See, or the Laacher See, so we're also going to visit that place today to see it for ourselves, the aftermath of the big eruption. Another cool feature about this place is that besides the Alps and Scandinavia, this place is experiencing sort of uplifting. That means it's raising above 1 millimeter every year, and that is quite uncommon for most of the areas or most of the countries in Europe, so this place is really unique. So this is the mighty Pulvermaar, which is the oldest by age, deepest by volume and largest by diameter. The Maar lake is 411 meters above the sea level, and it's also 72 meters deep, so that's quite deep. These maars are basically a consequence of exploding diatreme. And I know many of you, or all of you, probably are thinking, hey, what the fuck is a diatreme? Well, diatreme is basically sort of a gaseous volcanic pipe that exploded. Then we have to take in consideration the facts why it exploded, and it's because of the rising steam and magma while coming up to the surface because of the movement of the tectonic plates perhaps, or some other seismic activities. And then basically this super hot steam or magma reaches a chamber of underground water, which is cold of course, and boom, there you have your explosion. And then at the end these crater lakes, also known as maars, are formed. What happens next is basically that these craters fill up with the before mentioned groundwater, and then they form a lake, or the lake is formed by the precipitation water, also known as the rainwater. But I read that there can also be some cases where the maars are sort of drying out, and all you see is basically a big crater in the middle, covered with forests or grass. I think that's there were a lot of sites like that on the road here from the Netherlands. So all that battling and walking around made us a little bit hungry, because we did skip breakfast today because we wanted to be very early here, and that mission sort of succeeded because we were here I think around 9 o'clock in the morning, but our stomachs are empty. So let's see if there is like a village on the way where we can find some food. We visited, or stopped actually, in the proud village of Mehren, over here in the middle of nowhere, and we just got some croissants and a local snack. I already forgot how it was called.
Moestenschroef.
Well, it's basically just something with the nuts and
Nut triangle.
and amandel, I guess, mandel. So let's have a quick bite and head on to the next object today that we want to see. Wow, it's so awesome. They even have their own Kinderspielplatz here next to the church in Mehren. This tiny triangle of pastry is quite sticky a little bit, but now you can see all the nice chocolate and the nuss on it. Let me actually have a try. Wow, tastes pretty good. Not dry, not too sweet. Perfect for a quick bite. Luckily we have arrived at the well, sort of the second object that we want to see today, and it's more like a combination of three objects, because this Maar right here is called the Dauner Maar, and the Dauner is actually the village or the small town called Daun here, and it's kind of famous for having 3 of these maars right here next to each other. They're basically so close to each other that they could be considered as being a whole one crater, and basically the only thing separating these things are the remnants of the volcano itself. The Eifel Maar, and it also has like a second name, which is the Totenmaar, which literally translates apparently to the Lake of the Dead, and that is related because here on the bank of the lake, so to say, you do have a chapel dating back to 14th century and a cemetery as well, so that's why this place got the second name, the Lake of the Dead. But besides the name itself, the lake seems pretty much alive. Very beautiful blue color of the water, almost turquoise right there under the tree. So it does seem very, very much alive. So for now we're gonna trek around this lake for 2 kilometers, because after this lake there's the other lake called the Gemunder Maar. So we're gonna head over there and possibly try to get the drone up in the air. Indeed, a fun little tower it was, with a tiny climb up, and already from up there we could see one of the lakes. That was the Gemunder. I think that's how it's pronounced. It wasn't written here, so I will not even try, but I think it's called Gemunder Maar, and we can see it already down there. It's gonna be like walking down, I think, for about 1 kilometer, and then of course hiking back up, because that's why we are here today, to enjoy these little walks. We have arrived at the Gemunder Maar. So this is the gorgeous lake over here. It is in fact the northernmost of the 3 Dauner Maars, because we did see already the Totenmaar. We kind of didn't see it. We're gonna pass it next to it again. Hello. So we're gonna pass there again, also to see the chapel and perhaps the cemetery, but since this one is indeed the most northern one, we had to come sort of here first. And well, this is the beauty over here in comparison to the Pulvermaar. The first, so in comparison to the first lake that we visited, this one is only 38 meters deep, where that one was 72 meters, but still pretty incredible. This place is also 325 meters long, so then from left to right, and 300 meters wide. So quite impressive size, and even the depth being only 38 meters is still pretty deep, because if you're of course looking from the side and you're not suspecting anything, you'd be in for a big surprise, I think. I would bet that the water is warmer than the milk, so to say, because the last weeks in Europe, in this part of Europe, have been really warm and pleasurable. So too bad that we don't have any swimwear with us to join Naruto. And of course, as you would expect from the crater of a volcano, it does get pretty deep immediately, because you can see literally like maybe 2 meters away from the coastline, and then it just kind of gets darker. Well, the Maar below was really, of course, something out of this world, as we saw, and now we are back on the track to way up. As you can see, it's quite a steep climb, and the lake, well, you can't see through the bushes, but the lake is way down, so we have to make it back to the Mausberg, the little tower. And from there our path kind of goes on to make a circle around the Totenmaar, and also find the cemetery and the chapel that dates back to the 14th century. So that there in the distance, I'm gonna use the digital pointer, is the second highest mountain in the whole of Eifel mountain region. I think it's above, well, I'm gonna have to recheck, I guess, but it's quite high. It's above 500 or 600 meters, I believe. So that's also today on the list to see. I don't know if we're actually gonna do some hiking over there, because it is rather hot, and the time is running. And we still have 1 or 2 places to visit. So just in case, if there is enough time, then we'll definitely go to Ernstberg and see the high peak. We're really back on the track. There was the tower that we came from and the other lake. You can basically see this is the only separation between the lake over here, the Totenmaar, and the Gemunder lake. And there is also the 14th century chapel, and I believe our car is right over there. And the third lake is even more that way, so I think we're gonna hike down, go closer to that old chapel, and then we're finally gonna see the third lake. And the pronunciation of that I'm really afraid to pronounce. It's something close to Schalkenmehrener Maar, but I think when we get closer then we'll get their name also right. It's quite neat little chapel over here. Apparently it used to serve the community or the village, or more precisely a parish of Weinfeld, but that parish doesn't exist anymore because in the, I think, 16th century there was a big plague, and basically just people died out in the village or the parish, and they sort of abandoned it. And nowadays, well, it's still being used for another village. It's the same where we have the super difficult name of the village, Schalkenmehrener, I think that's how it's called. So they still use this place to bury people from over there, and probably from the local communities as well. So we have seen that. Now only place left in this neighborhood is the Schalkenmehrener Maar itself. I don't think it's going to take us that long to walk over there because everything is kind of in the vicinity over here. Well, God bless you. So yeah, let's go. Just for the reference, that is the Schalkenmehrener Maar, and that is the third lake. Finally, at least I get the letters right. So we really had to come down just a little bit. It was way less than at Gemunder Lake, and well, I'm not gonna say anything, but this is the view that we have been rewarded with. This place really also stands out with the fact that there is a village located on the coast of the lake, so that kind of makes it a little bit more scenic than the other places. This place is about 500 meters in diameter, so actually quite much larger than the Gemunder lake. And also over there where we can see the trees, I'm not going to use my fat fingers, but right there is a bog. So apparently this place can be distinguished in 3 zones. So one being the shore area, one being the raised bog, like I mentioned, the trees over there, and of course the slopes around the basin itself, so basically the slopes of the crater. And it's also surprisingly I don't know what's the opposite, shallow. So it's surprisingly shallow. It is only 21 meters deep, so much more friendly space for swimming or for amateur snorkeling. And I can imagine if you snorkel down there, it must be quite fantastic because the light will still reach the bottom of the lake. It is 3 o'clock right now, and we were here 9 a.m. in the morning already, so we have been spending some time over here chilling and walking. And what did you say?
We were already at 8 o'clock here.
8 o'clock?
Yes.
Alright, so sounds impossible, but let's say that we were here 8 o'clock and it's 3 o'clock now. So everybody's exhibiting some signals of being tired. So that's why we decided to skip one of the attractions today, which was basically another Mare or Maar. Instead of that, we're gonna go to Ernstberg, which was the, or still is, the second highest peak in the Eifel Mountains. I don't think we're gonna do any climbing over there, but rather just appreciate it from the distance. Afterwards, we're gonna head to the Laacher See that I already mentioned in the beginning of this video, and possibly have a small picnic over there. Maybe some breads with some sausage, some cold beer, sit down, relax, and head back home. So I think that's the plan. But it also means we have to find a supermarket, which we will. So we did our fair part of groceries, and just before we leave this part, we are standing kind of next to and under the second tallest volcano in the Eifel, the Ernstberg. It's barely visible from over here, of course, but the thing is, it's up there in the greenery, and you have to really hike through that area. Well, the best viewpoint anyway was located at the tower that we climbed up before we went to see the Gemunder lake, I believe. So that was the best viewpoint to this magnificent beauty, which is almost 700 meters tall. I think 689 meters tall, basically, is the highest point over there. So we're not gonna go anywhere near there. Actually, we're gonna stick to the plan for once and go see the Laacher See, so we can have our fabulous picnic over there. On the bottom of this valley, because it is sort of a valley, because we have a mountain there and we have a mountain behind us, you have a very small rural village called Waldkoningen. I mean, it couldn't be more for perfection if you're looking for a rural countryside, which we do like. Hello. Which we do like, of course. We passed even with the car through other villages. There was no life, no cars, no people, absolute silence. So quite fantastic, I would say. We have arrived at the Laacher See. Finally, it is right now 6 o'clock, so that's quite a big time that we lost there in the middle. And well, I wish I had something positive to say, but we kind of lost our food. And with that I mean, of course, I guess we supposedly forgot to pick it up from the store. So that's the most terrible news of today. Really sucks, because there was a lot of good food. Just to mention some of the worthy nominees, we had some local sausage from this region, 2 types of them. We had 2 types of salad. Of course, if you're in Germany, you have to try the potato salad, and there was also chicken salad with champignons and pineapple, and there was feta cheese, also sort of like with chili. So what I understood from the lady that put it in the box, that it was also local. And lastly, there were some onions in balsamico, what you call it, acid? Balsamico acid, I suppose. So vinegar, balsamico vinegar. So all of that goods are lost, but we did make it to the lake. Losing that food is definitely a mood killer. It's not about money, it wasn't that much, but it was about the moment, because we were looking forward to have this this little picnic here. But then it's like a double bummer, because we followed the path and this is where it took us. So over there you see there is like boat rental place, and besides that there is just like one big piazza with some benches and nothing else. So I think it was doomed to fail from beginning. However, of course, Sabine, being the super top wife #1, she did get some backup food from the restaurant over here, or like a cafe. Probably also the last entry today of this video for the blog. Gonna try to launch up the drone up in the sky, take a quick snap of this lake, which is much bigger than all the lakes that we saw today. This one is 2 square kilometers in diameter, so you can't see it from here, I guess. And also, if I'm correct, the depth was about 58 meters, so not bad, but still the lake that we saw in the beginning, there was the Pulvermaar, that was the record of them all, 72 meters. So, enough babbling, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.